when the world is on your shoulders. Stay, don't fade away. Strangers, broken hands alive, drift on the frozen face of time. Unlikely guide, I will follow you. Stay by my side, see tomorrow through. Two roads merging in one line. What would you give of yourself to stay steadfast? Could you shed all of the ethics of your past? What would you give of yourself to be the best of us at last?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series live from Stafford. We're here for race number 7 of the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series, the Country Road Sports Cars 100. And joining me in the booth is our producer, Harold Darner. Harold, how's it going?
Pretty good. Yeah, sorry about the confusion. We still had the All-Star race that had been our pre-race there for the video. So it's not tonight's race, so we jumped in here with the Country Road Sports Car LLC for the 100 tonight.
No, it's not the All-Star race tonight. However, it is for the Cup Series and the NASCAR Cup Series that's on right now. However, we have more important things to do, like have a 100-lap race here at Stafford for the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. Now, my sidekick, Jacob Bell, couldn't be with us tonight. He's off doing other things right now, more personal. But we're going to rock it with the duo here again. Me, Hunter Sleppy, the lead announcer for the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series, and Harold Darner, our producer. So, we're here at Stafford, going to be for 100 laps. But first, we have qualifying right now, so here are our practice speeds really quick. Matthew Robinson, once again, the fastest car on these practice sheets. And Jacob York, second. James Shanewolf, third. Johnny Collier, fourth. Dawson Miller, fifth. And the rest of the top 10. Dean Gagliano, Cliff Mullins, Jeremy Knapp, Justin Lemke, and Ed Morris Sr. Speaking of Cliff Mullins, there he is on the top right, posting the fastest lap so far in this 5-minute qualifying session. You can see there's that 37 car right there, and he just got bested by James Shanewolf at 20.985. Shanewolf in the number 1. Ryan on board with him in the in car. Whoa. A little loose off 4. He's just going to park it. That's going to be his lap. And that lap for Matthew Robinson pushes him to the top of the charts at 20.769. We ride on board with him. He might just park it here after this corner. Here's Jacob York in the 25. He was the second fastest car in practice. Tagged the wall a little bit. It's a 20.889. But that won't count because he did tag the wall coming out of turn 4. That would have been good for second on the charts, and it looks like he's just going to park it. So, unfortunate for Jacob York. Didn't have the speed to show in qualifying because he just nicked the wall there coming out of the last corner. Ed Morris Sr. doesn't hit the wall, and he puts up a 21.288. I'll put him 5th quickest on the chart. Looks like the only two that have not made a lap yet is Jacob York and Dawson Miller. Jacob York tagged the wall coming out of turn 4, so that is why his lap time here at a 20.8 would have put him 2nd quickest. So him tagging the wall just eliminates that lap time all around. So unfortunate for Jacob York. He'll have to start from the rear of the field. Yeah, Still have over 2 minutes left for Dawson Miller to put a lap time down if he chooses to.
Well, he finished that first lap, so coming out of the pits would be whatever he gets there, so he's not going to get another shot at a full lap.
Oh, okay. Must have missed that then. So it looks like everyone's made their lap times then.
Yeah, that is an issue with iRacing because it's based on where the pit lane is. It would basically he's already connected. He's crossed the line. So the next time he crosses the line again, that'll be his 2nd lap. You don't get another outlap again.
No, no, you do not. Your only other outlap is if you mess up your first lap. Then you have to gather back up. Although I do believe it was only 1 lap. No, speaking of that lap, looking for the 56 of Dawson Miller. He puts it 3rd fastest. So he must have had another lap in him.
That was Dawson Miller. We were talking about York hit the wall.
Yeah. Should point out that is the 25 of Dawson Miller. Mentioned 25 of Dawson Miller. He loaded in the wrong car, so that black 25 is actually the 56 of Dawson Miller. Might be some confusion there, but Jacob York's in the orange 25. Dawson Miller's in the black 25. He loaded in the wrong car, so there, just in case there's any confusion there, it was kind of kind of shocked to see 25, and then I remembered because he told me in the pre-race that he loaded in the wrong car and he couldn't go back and change it. So that's the car he's stuck with. However, it is a pretty fast car. He's got it third on the charts.
Yep. So that's gonna be. You're like, that's a 25. I saw that car a minute ago. So. I tell you, that's one of the things. The customization of these cars is just so sophisticated, and it's a program we use that's not iRacing, the trading paint system, which allows us to see custom paint jobs from anybody without actually having them. Because the way we used to do it before, people would actually send you a zip file with your entire league's colors in one folder. And if you didn't have that, you wouldn't see anybody in their right colors at all.
Kind of a lot to pack in there.
Yeah, so the trading paints came out and helped us with that issue. So it's good for that.
Yeah, Trading Paint is a really, really popular site that everyone can use to prove their skills on the car, like their paint schemes, because there's some pretty good paint schemes that come from Trading Paints.
Oh, yeah.
So qualifying's over with. Let's take a look at our championship standings first. You see there's Matthew Robinson there. He's got the points lead by quite a margin, over 39 points on Sebastian Taylor, who I believe is not in this race again. So it's going to add to Matthew Robinson's points lead. And you see Johnny Collier in third in the standings. Dawson Miller, he's moved up to fourth in the standings out of nowhere. He's gained over 3 spots from the last time we were live. I believe round 6, that was at Richmond. It's been quite a while since we've raced here. We had the last 2 weeks off, and then we had the All-Star race for Extreme Motorsports last week. James Shanwolf kind of came back and just dominated where he left off. 5th in the standings right now, but expect him to move up as well. Jeremy Knapp, 6th in the standings. Cliff Mullen, 7th. Look at how close these guys are. From, I'd say, about Collier on to Mullins. Maybe Ed Morris. 3rd to 8th. They are separated by 20 points. And if you do Collier to Mullins, they're separated by 10. So it's a very close points battle. But you got to be inside that top 12 in order to make the playoffs for the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. So there you see the rest. There's the cutoff. Jacob York right there. He's 12th in the standings right now. He's got a good cushion over Ryan Twynham. I don't believe anyone else on the outside in could get in. So he's got that last spot right now. And depending on how tonight's race is, he could very well move past Jerry Glenn in the standings.
Yeah, we were talking pre-race, that the SRX series just started, and lo and behold, they were here in Stafford. So we're like behind them now, and that's how popular we are. They're like, hey, we need something to do Sunday night, so y'all need to come up behind the SRX guys. Probably high five Tony on the way out, right?
I was just about to say, if this track looks familiar to anyone watching, this was on last night. This track was on last night for some real racing on CBS. It was the SRX, a Superstar Racing Experience, the new basically IROC league that created by none other than Tony Stewart. Ray Evernham has worked with Fury Cars to provide the race cars on an even playing field for everyone. And it was a really, really fun night last night. Had a couple heat races, and then we have a 100-lap main event, kind of like what we have tonight. So we're going to have a 6-lap heat race, just a refresher for those, because it's been a while since we've been on here for the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. It's a 6-lap heat race, kind of a little bit of a practice session, and drivers can obviously move up and provide themselves with a better starting spot. And then we have a 100-lap main event, just like last night.
I'm going to pull up I believe that is, actually, there we go. Here's our qualifying times.
Yep, the qualifying results are here, and this will be your starting lineup for the first and only heat, whenever we do go back green. So, Matthew Robinson on pole, once again. He's continuing to show that he's got the fastest car out of anyone in the field. James Shanwolf, a clear number 2. However, It would have been Jacob York who starting dead last, but his lap time got nicked because he tapped the wall coming out of 4, completely erased his lap time. So James Shanewolf going to start second. Dawson Miller, the last one to put a lap time down, puts it third, doing it for Dale. And Dean Gagliano in the 41 going to be fourth. Johnny Collier back in fifth. Sixth is going to be Ed Morris Sr., seventh, Cliff Mullins, eighth, Justin Lemke, ninth, Rick Ward, and the 20 of Jeremy Knapp. Oh, he's got some favorites out there in the chat. Starting 10th, and then 11th, Jacob York.
So that's what we got these guys, man. We'll go over the grid again when we get it officially, because iRacing loves to wait until the last minute to allow me to do the grid. Gotta wait until it actually comes out there. Like, oh, okay.
Just want to provide a quick reminder to everyone that was brought to you by America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan. And recently in the news, they are sponsoring the O2. Well, they are. This race already happened, but if you in case you watched the truck race last night, even though it was during the day, yesterday's truck race, you would have seen the O2 car of Chris Wright. He was sponsored by none other than America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan.
Wow, so we're
very cool stuff.
So we're starting trends now.
Next thing you know, it'll be Country Road Sports Cars, and then could be Lottie'sTravelWorld.com here providing us our weather stats. It's partly cloudy right now, even though going to be, I think it might be a night breeze. Not too sure. Sun's going to set.
Late afternoon.
Yeah, rain in the afternoon. Okay. So track temp at 108, almost got that wrong. Air temp 78. 55% humidity.
Oh no,
and
there's
our old friend winds from the north, 2 miles an hour. Oh man.
I'm wondering how if they're actually using dynamic. Well, they're using dynamic sky, but the weather is constant, so they're not using dynamic weather, and that's why that wind's that way. But yeah, definitely. In my real job, I'm an air traffic controller, so I can tell you that winds out of the north to 2 is probably not very accurate.
Yeah, last weekend in the All-Star race for Extreme Motorsports, we had winds going all over the place. It was going northwest, south, had all kinds of miles an hour differentials. So
that was because we were using the dynamic weather engine that iRacing has, and it was a lot of fun.
Refresher.
And it was getting hotter. It was like how's it getting hotter? It's getting later in the night. Track is heating up. All right, so
well, we got about 7.5 minutes left for the first heat, and then we'll get the 100-lap main feature. Currently, want to thank everyone watching. Make sure you follow. If you want to, you can subscribe with your Twitch Prime account, or it's only $5 to sub. You can use our emotes, our Rick's Hot Sauce emotes, South Beach Heat emote. We got some more emotes coming in soon. You can view the races ad free, and there's plenty of other exciting stuff that we're going to offer with our subscription in the upcoming weeks. There, we have 7 minutes left. Take a look at the turns here. Take a look. It's different degrees of banking, not very much of a difference, but right here, according to my stat sheet, it's got 9 degrees of banking in turn 1 and 2, 7 degrees in 3 and 4, and 2 degrees on the straightaway. So very low banking for this racetrack. It was actually built back in 1870, so that's a long, long time ago. That was almost when Lincoln was president, although he was assassinated, fortunately, a few years before this. So this was built back in 1870, and it was originally for horse racing before it became automobile racing, because cars didn't exist back then. Everyone raced on horses. Then it transitioned over to automobile racing, and since it's made the transition, Stafford Motor Speedway has been traced for the modified lineage back to the very beginning of the track and for stock car racing. And although it's not as flashy as fancy as the half miles or the mile and a halves that the Cup cars go to, like Texas Motor Speedway or Bristol for the half miles, this busy oval can still put on a fantastic show full of action for the fans and intense competition for the drivers, as we saw last night for the Superstar Racing Experience that made their debut. and could make it again tonight here for the Rick Satsas Late Model Series.
Oh, out there I was able to find the intro, so I'm going to actually play the intro because we have people that actually pay for this, right?
Yes, we do.
So I'm going to actually do my job, and we're going to put out the Rick Hassel Late Model intro, and we'll be right back. All right, there you guys have it. That was our intro for tonight's race. And Wendigo Studios' producer Harold's gonna say, "I was a little slow tonight." You know, it's like, 2 weeks off is too much for me. Y'all can't do that to me.
Yeah, it was a good bit rusty, good bit of rust there. That was just shaking off the rust. Sorry, we're gonna have I believe. Sorry, this is race 7, so we're going to have about 8 or 9 straight weeks of racing. Right now, currently at Stafford for the Country Road Sports Cars 100. Then next week we're going to go to the historic North Wilkesboro that was rejuvenated for iRacing during last year's pandemic and NASCAR and the Cup guys going virtual racing, and they brought back North Wilkesboro as the last virtual race before they went back to Darlington. So after North Wilkesboro, it's going to be New Smyrna, and then the cutoff race will be New Hampshire. And then we'll have our 5-race chase starting up the north in South Boston, and then we'll go down south to Myrtle Beach. We'll go up to the Midwest and visit the Milwaukee Mile, go back down and visit Five Flags, and then we'll come back down to USA Raceway under the lights for the Country Road Sports Cars Championship race. Looking forward to it. Still have 4 races left in the regular season, so drivers, if there's anyone on the outside looking in, they could lock themselves in tonight with a win. But right now, it's looking like all the drivers that are inside the top 12 are going to make it into the playoffs, because they are the same 12 that come in, week out.
You know, we do have a break, though, between Smyrna and New Hampshire for the 4th of July.
Right. Did not take that into consideration.
Because I'm like, wait a minute. I remember I get a day off in there somewhere. But
should also point out, I believe Dean Gagliano, this is his first Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series race. He was in last week's All-Star race. Had a decent showing there. He's currently got 4th right now. This is where he's going to be starting before our heat race. Well, we have a little more than 2 minutes left before the heat race. Just want to ask everyone in the chat, who do you think is going to win tonight? Is it going to be Matthew Robinson once again? Will it be James Shanewolf in the 1? Could it be Jacob York in the 25, turning his luck around this year? Or could it be someone like Johnny Collier, Dawson Miller, Justin Lemke, Jeremy Knapp? Could be any one of these guys in the field. We want to see what you guys put in the chat. Who do you think is going to win? And we'll get to it from there. We have about a minute left now before our heat race. Harold, who do you have?
You know, maybe it's a curse, but I think I'm waiting for York to finish this, a good run one of these nights. So I'm gonna keep going with him. Maybe he doesn't like me doing that because it must be some bad luck for him.
All right, so Harold's going with York. I'm going to have to go ahead and go. Now, the obvious answer here would be Matthew Robinson, but that would just be too easy. So I want to go with someone different. I want to go with someone outside the box. I'm going to go with the 1 of James Shanewolf, the second in command. He's going to take charge, and he's going to get another win tonight and try to hunt down Matthew Robinson's points lead because Sebastian Taylor not in tonight, losing valuable positions in the standings. There was a plane.
Yeah, look. I was trying to get back to the standings here, and that was my. Anytime I pull up something else, it's like, whoa, yeah.
I thought you were trying to find where Sebastian Taylor is.
Yeah,
maybe he's on
Sebastian's on a plane somewhere. No. So we're only gonna do one heat tonight, right? That's right.
It's only going to be one heat. If there's more than 12, then we split up the field in half for our heats. But since there's only 11 drivers and they all make it, and here's our starting grid once more for the Country Road Sports Cars 100, presented by Country Road Sports Cars. Matthew Robinson is going to be on the pole. Starting alongside him is going to be James Shane Wolf for row 1. Row 2 is going to consist of Dawson Miller in the 56 and Dean Gagliano making his Rick's Hot Sauce debut in the 41. Row 3 is going to have Johnny Collier in the 33, and alongside him is going to be Ed Morris Sr. in the 14. Row 4 will have Cliff Mullins in the 37 and Justin Lemke in the 35. Row 5, we're going to have Rick Ward in the 34 and Jeremy Knapp in the 20, starting 10th. And starting last will be Jacob York. Now that is due to him tagging the wall coming out of turn 4, because this lap time that he put down would have been good enough for second. But he clipped the wall coming out of 4, so that erased his lap time completely. Now I believe we get 2 pace laps, or it could be 1 pace lap here.
Short track, it's supposed to be 2. But
it's supposed to be 2.
There are ways to shorten that, but you know, I'm not an admin, so I don't know per se.
And it does look like it's 2, so we will be getting the one to go this time by. And just wanted to clear anyone who was wondering, man, why did it take so long for the guys to get in the heat finally? After qualifying, which is only 5 minutes, even though it says 20, the last 15 minutes is the drivers meeting, basically giving a rundown of the drivers, telling them what they can do, what they cannot do, yada, yada, yada. If you're a regular, you know the drill, but for those wondering, that's why it took so long. And the pace car makes the hard left turn into the pit lane, a kind of odd pit entry. And they come off of turn 4. Matthew Robinson's going to lead him to the green here for heat race number 1. See the one of Shane Wolf going to tuck in right behind the 40. Now he's going to dive underneath the 40. This is a 6-lap heat race, might I add. So in case we get a late race restart, it's kind of like practice for these guys. The one of Shane Wolf underneath the 40 of Robinson. Looks like he's going to take the lead. He's going to clear him. Whoa, we had a car climbing the wall back there. Looks like it was the 14 of Ed Morris. He's running in 9th. He climbed the wall back there, but we stayed green. There are no cautions in the heat race. Dawson Miller underneath the 40. He's in the 25 because he loaded in the wrong paint scheme, but he's listed as the 56 car. Him and Matthew Robinson swapping second. So we have 4 laps left, and that one of Shane Wolf closing out the deal, driving away like he stole it. Just above the fastest lap time. So there's the 40 of Robinson going underneath the 56 of Dawson Miller for the second spot. So there we got 3 laps to go now. Shane Wolf closing out. He's got about 6 car length lead over Matthew Robinson. Maybe Robinson could put something together, a little late race charge to try and get back in front of the 1.
Mullins and Collier kind of doing some.
Whoa! Ed Morris is making an abrupt turn to pit road.
He's cutting the grass. He didn't like the grass.
He's cutting the grass. Kind of like Willie T. Ribs from last night's SRX race. Well, they're going to come out 3 and 4 right now, and we're going to get the white flag for the last lap, the first and only heat race of the night. Robinson tagged the wall there, coming out of 4. Didn't look like it hurt him too bad, but it's going to be too little too late. Down the backstretch they go. James Shane Wolf took charge early on. He's going to come off of 3, and now turn number 4, and he's going to win the first heat race of the night here at Stafford.
You got to look at York, man, from the back all the way to 4th and 6th laps.
Yeah, like I say, we got a late race restart. Who knows? That 25 car, Jacob York, he might be if that's saying if he isn't last. If he's not last, he can definitely make his ground up in 6 laps or less. And there's the one with Shane Wolf, your heat race winner. Making the abrupt turn to pit road. So here's your finishing results. The one car of James Shane Wolf comes out on top at the first spot. Matthew Robinson going to fall to second. Dawson Miller going to stay third. Jacob York climbed from dead last to fourth. Johnny Collier in the 33 going to come home fifth. Cliff Mullins sixth. Dean Gagliano seventh. Justin Lemke eighth. Jeremy Knapp ninth. Ed Morris Sr. climbed the wall there at one point, then mowed some grass. Going to be 10th, and then Rick Ward 11th. And now let's take a look at our starting lineups for the Country Road Sports Cars 100, presented by Country Road Sports Cars. James Shane Wolf's going to be on the pole, followed by Matthew Robinson starting alongside him in second. Row 2 is going to have Dawson Miller in the 56, and Jacob York in the 25 in the 4th spot. Row 3 is going to be Johnny Collier in the 33 and Cliff Mullins in the 37. Row 4 will have Dean Gagliano and Justin Lemke. Row 5, we're going to have, drum roll please, that was a bad drum roll, Jeremy Knapp in the 20 and in the 9th spot, and then 10th is going to be Ed Morris Sr. Ooh, and then row 6, it's going to be Rick Ward Sr. 34. Any last thoughts, Harold, before we take the 100-lap main event green?
Well, they said it's afternoon conditions, so we're going to have a warm track, which is going to make these guys stay on their P's and Q's, a flat track. So a little bit too much gas, and that right end is going to want to come way around, or you're going to do the Lindsay Lohan, Herbie the Love Bug move by trying to use the fence to pass people on the extreme outside line.
Yeah, we saw that in our practice session. Jacob York was doing the Herbie Fully Loaded challenge. He was riding the wall, about row the catch fence all the way down the front stretch. Don't know how much of an advantage that will play once we get into the actual race.
He's practiced at it, though.
He's practiced at it. It's in his back pocket if he needs to use it. Pace car made the hard left turn down pit road. That means the 100-lap main event, the Country Road Sports Cars 100, is underway here at Stafford. Shane Wolf with a great launch. I mean, a great launch. The 40 of Robinson just did not go at all. He's already under attack. It's like deja vu. Shane Wolf's gone, and Robinson's under attack from Miller for second. Lap 1 in the books, 99 laps left. There you see you might see the 25 car twice. The black 25 is the 56 scored. It scored a 56 with Dawson Miller. He loaded in the wrong paint scheme. So he's the black 25, and the orange 25 underneath the 40 of Robinson. The orange 25 is Jacob York. So here we got a battle for 5th. There's Mullins in the 37 with Collier. The battle is heating up for 2nd as York has taken 2nd spot from Miller, and Robinson's going to try and take a spot back from Miller for 3rd. Oh, we got a spinner! It's the 41 of Dean Gagliano. He spins onto the other pit lane. He's going to mow some grass as well. We stay green, no caution.
The Legends track at Stafford that he went down?
I saw someone on Twitter say last night that maybe they should run the race at the Legends track. No, that would be too much. That would be too much.
I can tell you that I have run the. I want to say we did the SK Modifieds at the Charlotte Legends track one night just for fun on iRacing. It was very interesting.
Yeah, it'd be more interesting to say the least. You did at Stafford, probably too much. Probably too much if you did at Stafford. You take a look back for 5th. It's still the 37 of Mullins in front of Collier. It's about half second off. Looking at the battle, this is going to be for 2nd right now. Jacob York currently in front of the 40 of Robinson, but Dawson Miller in hot pursuit from Mullins in the 37, who's trying to get run down by the 33 of Collier. But the one of Shane Wolf has already opened up to a near 2-second advantage over the field. There we go. There's the bow for second right there. The 40 of Robinson in hot pursuit of Jacob York in the 25, as he's trying to close in the gap on Shane Wolf just a little bit, but not doing too much right now. Still early on in the going, though. Let's ride on board with the 40 of Robinson. There is bow for second still going on. York pulling away a little bit from Robinson, closing the gap just a bit on Shane Wolf as well. He's starting to run lap times that are about 1/10 faster than Shane Wolf, well, 2/10 faster. There you see the last lap time. Let's take a look at Shane Wolf's last lap. It's a 21.194, Jacob York a 21.18. A 21.105 from Robinson. And those are basically the fastest three on the racetrack right now. They're basically jumped away from the competition. However, Shane Wolf's jumping away from them a little bit more. Let's see what it's like this time around. Well, back to the intervals we go. But York has closed the gap. Remember, it was almost 2 seconds at one point. Ah, look at that. They're all in the 20s right now. The top three, 20.91, 20.94, and a 20.93. They're all about even. Let's see, for lap number 13. Did they run identical lap times? I don't believe they did. But that 25 of York is slowly creeping in on the one of Shane Wolf. Lead was at 1 second, at 1.2 seconds. Oh, look at that. We do have identical lap times. The 1 and the 25 both ran a 21.182. That's kind of cool. Harold, have you ever seen that?
Yeah, we've seen it up to that level, but not for very long.
Shane Wolf, as you see, the lap times are starting to wear off as the tires go on. So we should mention that there's only one set of tires in these races for the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. Only one set of tires. There are no resets. So basically, if you have damage, you're going to have to hope that it's not going to require too much time to repair.
And they also have only 50% fuel in the fuel cells. That will pretty much force a pit sometime within the 100 laps for most tracks.
Yes, that would be for most tracks, but with how short of a track Stafford is, they could very well go all the way on fuel. There you see the battle still going. It is still 1.3 back from York to Shane Wolf. There's a good view. Good view of the racetrack and the scenery surrounding it. Nice little track in Stafford Speedway. This battle for second, the 40 of Robinson still has not let the 25 of York go just yet. See Shane Wolf starting to run just a little bit faster. The 40 of Robinson diving in a little bit deeper. As we get into it, this is the in-car cam of Jacob York right here. Watch him work the steering wheel. See just how much they have to turn there in the center of the corner. Lap times are still going up as the wear and tear on these tires gets higher and higher.
It looks like Robinson is starting to set up his pass on York.
Starting to. Catching him's one thing, which he's basically, he hasn't let York go away, but he's still on the bumper. But passing is a whole nother thing. a whole nother aspect of racing.
They are running in two different lines. You see York looking like he's going about to the groove off the bottom, and I've seen 40 slid that time, but he's been pretty much sniffing more down to the apron than the 25.
Yeah, I noticed that the 25 has sort of been getting in a little bit of a different approach at the corner than Robinson. Like when you saw going in the turn one, like Robinson will drive it in a little more deeper and higher, and then they'll try and tuck back in and get that run, try and get to the bottom. As you see right there, getting to the bumper, getting close to maybe using that bumper, although it still might be too early to use it. Just nip.
Just under a quarter of the way through here.
Yeah, we're just about 25% of the way through this race, as we're almost on lap 25. I want to point out for the rest of the field just a little clarification. The 56 of Dawson Miller there you see on the screen, he is in the 25 car. However, he scored as the 56 because that's the car he normally runs. He loaded in the wrong paint scheme. He's fallen back to 5th. Cliff Mullins has moved up to 4th. And Collier's still in 6th. Knapp in 7th. Lemke 8th. Ed Morris 9th. And Rick Ward 10th. And Dean Gagliano, he's close to going a lap down.
Saying there, that's Matthew Robinson now looking like he's mid to high off now. Looks like he's trying to switch it up from that low off, more of a high off. Or maybe he's only doing that in 1 and 2, because he was definitely a lot higher off of 1 and 2.
Ooh! See the 25 of York getting loose there on corner exit. That's just the wear and tear of the tires. The rear of the tires really starts eating them up, especially the right rear. Eats them up a lot quicker.
Matthew Robinson with that late apex off of 2 that last corner.
Yeah, that 25 car of York is really, really loose. Here comes the 40 of Robinson underneath. Now he's going to tuck back in, try and get a better arc on the top, and then get a run coming out of 2, maybe. That 25 of York, the rear of the car, is just moving all over the place.
I'm sure the 40 being there is disrupting that car a little bit.
Yeah, I would assume so too if he's been on your bumper for the last 28 laps or so.
You can mess up the aero from the car in front of you a little. I mean, they're not as aero as we say like the super speedway cars, but these guys can affect one another by getting up right up underneath them. Maybe get that the air not coming off that fin as much, basically going over, making one car out of the 2 cars. So it affects that not as much downforce on the spoiler for the car in front. Or you can just give them the bump, and that'll hit his rear tires off the deck, and then that won't help out much either.
It seems like the battle for 2nd has closed down just a bit. The battle for 5th is starting to get a little close, as Collier's all over the bumper of Miller there in the black 25, although he's scored as the 56. Kind of turned into a 3-car battle here, as Collier kind of getting a lower approach in the corner than Miller. Miller kind of taking it a little bit of in the higher lanes. You see there, Collier's basically on the apron.
Collier was looking at the yellow part of the apron on that last lap.
Collier's not careful enough. He could lose 6th place to Jeremy Knapp in the back.
Jeremy Knapp just kind of watching it right now, and like he had a little bit of a connection issue. That car just blinked out for a sec there.
Yeah, 33. It's definitely a different approach than what we've seen so far from the 2nd and 3rd place driver. There, we didn't see it that time, but watch Collier's approach going into the corner. He'll get as low as the apron, or of course, as soon as I say that, he doesn't do it. Although he's getting some sort of a run, he backs out in the middle of the corner, middle of the exit.
There's Nat looking to take that high groove off, and you see that car want to turn hard on him on exit.
Yeah, that 33's got some issues on under the hood of the car. It's getting tight on exit. He's just not able to smash the gas pedal like Dawson Miller in the 56 or Jeremy Knapp in the 20. There you see the left side of your screen, the intervals are back up, and it's basically been a 1.3 second advantage for the one of James Shanewolf, who's continued to lead every single lap. Jacob York has driven away from Matthew Robinson in the 40. It seems like he used up all of his tires for that intense battle for second, and everyone's sort of calmed down right now. As we're approaching lap traffic, actually. This is the first of the lap traffic. Currently got Dean Gagliano and Rick Ward both a lap down. There's Jacob York nearly hitting one of the lap cars. I believe that is Rick Ward.
34, yep, Rick Ward.
Yep. Almost said he was in the 14 there. That sort of brought back in Matthew Robinson, sort of reeled him back in. That exit coming out of 2 there for York nearly got into the side of Rick Ward, and sort of giving Robinson a little bit of life again.
So, do you think these guys, because we are seeing fall off almost an entire second with these guys from their fastest laps? Will they come down for their tires? You said they may not need fuel, but will they come down for tires to split the difference?
I say maybe if it gets to the point where they're wrecking loose off every single corner, then maybe, just maybe, we'll see them come in and pit. Although I would assume it would have to be around maybe lap 60 or so, maybe 70. Good to see it then. As there's the battle for 5th place continuing to heat up. The 20 of the naps gone by Collier. And he's hunting the bumper of the 56 of Dawson Miller. Right here, it's this battle for second that's continuing to heat up with more lap traffic in the way. That is the 14 of Dean Gagliano, or the 41, sorry, Dean Gagliano, the 14. Actually, no, that's Morris Sr., sorry, my apologies.
And his right side is completely mangled on that car.
You might have tried the Jacob York approach with Herbie fully loaded from practice earlier. He did climb the wall in the heat race.
Yeah, that whole right front is definitely seen better days.
That is the case for Ed Morris Sr. There's the battle for 5th, still heating up. Andrew Knapp all over the bumper of Dawson Miller. Sort of going in and out, but he's still there. There's the car behind him, Johnny Collier. Now still heating up all over the place. And it's still about 1.4 second advantage for James Shanewolf over Jacob York.
That hasn't changed much, but we are looking at this battle here between Miller and Knapp. And if Knapp can get his connection to get a little more solid, he might make the move. Because I know as a driver, if I'm blinking in and out, I'm really worried about trying to make a pass on somebody, because I know that they may not see where my car is. It makes it very difficult to avoid collisions, and that's not good for anybody.
Another thing that makes it difficult, not for Andrew Knapp, that's it. Jeremy Knapp. Another thing that makes it difficult for Jeremy Knapp is trying to get past the 56 of Dawson Miller. Although it's not the 56, it's the black 25 for Dawson Miller. He loaded in the wrong car. Now, if he would have had his own company, Miller Racing Graphics, he wouldn't have to worry about this because he'd already have his car set. So for all of you that are wondering out there, Miller Racing Graphics is your #1 source for iRacing graphics, logos, and more. Get 50% off your first paint scheme at facebook.com/MillerSimGraphics. And maybe, just maybe, you won't use the same car like Dawson Miller. And he just lost a spot in the middle of that ad read.
Yeah, so hey, you gotta show off your sponsors, and if you're the guy that paints the cars, you definitely want to have that on the front. So
yeah, kind of a backup plan. Like, oh, I put the wrong car in. At least it's got my sponsors on it, my own company on it.
That's good. Really sliding out that corner.
He's really trying to hold on to these tires. We could see
Ooh,
pit
you
stops
see his
here.
hands? Did you see it?
We
Good
could see
shot of
pit
the
stops.
hands, though.
Could see pit stops within the next handful of laps or so, depending on how hard these guys are falling off. And I believe
Pit
it's
stop.
Matthew Robinson on pit road. I was about to say, Robinson's on pit road.
There's Dawson Miller, I see, and Robinson as well.
Yeah, Robinson just came off of pit road. So I looked up at the Scoretron and saw, oh my goodness, he fell back 7 seconds. Wait, that's not him. That's Cliff Mullins. So pit stops are being made as we speak. Looks like the only driver to pit is Matthew Robinson, although Dawson Miller's in his pit stall right now.
I don't see those as being tire changes at only at 11 seconds.
Yeah, it could be fuel only.
Or maybe right sides only, but definitely weren't 4.
Yeah, it could be right sides, could be left sides. Let's see. Interesting strategies here as we approach. Well, we're already past the halfway point. So let's do a little rundown of the field here, presented by America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan. Go ahead and take a look at our leader, James Shainwolf, in the number 1. He's kind of led every single lap since the drop of the green flag. He made his way through the field in the heat race, presented by Dogtopia, and he hasn't looked back since. Although, if you look back, here's Jacob York smacking the wall coming out of 4. He's closed the gap to less than a second as Shainwolf has caught lap traffic. He's had to start from all the way at the tail end of the field in the heat, finished 4th, and then made his way from 4th to 2nd right now in the main event. And right now our 3rd place driver is Cliff Mullins in the 37. He's kind of had a quiet night, just kind of been 4th for the most part before the pit stop there by Matthew Robinson. And right now he sits 3rd as he smacks the wall coming out of 4. Seems to be a tradition. There is the 20 of Jeremy Knapp. He's currently 4th right now amid pit stops. He's kind of been at the back half of the field. Currently 4th, but he was battling for 6th and 5th earlier on. And we'll have to see where he cycles out from pit stops. Johnny Collier in the 33 is currently 5th right now, and the chart's kind of the same deal with him. Kind of been in the back half of the top 10. And just waiting to see where he will cycle out from pit stops. There's the 40 of Matthew Robinson in the Dogtopia number 40. He already made his pit stop, but he was running at one point 2nd, then fell back to 3rd. I was just stuck behind Jacob York for the most part. There's Justin Lemke in the 35. He's currently 7th on the track right now. He has yet to make a pit stop. He's kind of had a quiet race too. It's about where he's been all throughout the night. Just a quiet night for him. Ed Morris Sr., he has not had a quiet night. He's got some damage on the right front of his car. Don't know when and where that came from, but in the heat race he tried climbing the wall, so maybe he got up in the wall and tried climbing it again. There's Dawson Miller in the 56. He's kind of had an up and down kind of race. He started inside the top 5. Currently he's fallen back to 9th, but that was due virtue of pit stops. And he put in the wrong paint scheme. Rick Ward Sr. currently 10th right now. He's kind of had a quiet night also, just currently on cruise control, just enjoying the nice breeze here at Stafford. The winds from the north at 2 miles an hour. And Dean Gagliano currently 11th. We saw him fly through the grass earlier, mowing some of the front stretch grass. I guess he didn't like how one tick of grass was sticking up, so he just decided to mow it all. Make it even. And that's your field rundown presented by America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan. Here's our leader, James Shainwolf, making his pit stop. Going to be interesting to see if he takes what the rest of the field is taking, which is 2 tires. Don't know if it's right sides, left sides. We'll have to.
That's right sides right there.
It's right sides right there. Yep.
And Knapp's coming down as well.
Yep, Jeremy not making this.
He's going with both sides. Shainwolf is.
Oh, kind of a bold strategy there from the one with Shainwolf. Rather than getting tires on one side, he gets it on both. It's going to be a bit more of a lengthy pit stop here. It's Jacob York. He already made his pit stop. He took 2 tires. Maybe did a little bit of damage repair. But James Shainwolf had a 22.5 second pit stop. It'll be interesting to see in the long run if that works out or not.
Well,
currently the
Shane
drivers.
Wolf is down a lap because of that, with 2 drivers in front of him on the lead lap that have already pitted.
Yeah, I was just going to point out that the drivers who have yet to pit are Cliff Mullins, who's currently first, Justin Lemke running third, Ed Moore Sr. currently sixth, and then Rick Ward Sr. ninth. So only 4 drivers have yet to make their pit stop. Everyone else has made their pit stop. Looks like they've taken 2 tires, except for Shane Wolf, who took 4. So it's a real interesting strategy call there on the 1. Seemed like he had the dominant car of the night. We'll see if he can drive his way back to the front. But if a caution were to come out, this would change everything.
Saw Jake Bell, our other broadcaster, hop into Twitch and just basically said we've hit the 100 followers on the Twitch channel. So big shout out to all of our followers for, basically liking us. That's kind of what that is, right? That's like a hey, we're good. All right, cool.
Yeah, they like what they see from last week with the All-Star Race and tonight with the late model series here. And just want to thank everyone again for following, watching, subbing, all of the above. Really appreciate it. And just try to put on a good show for you guys, and hopefully we can do more of this in the future. You never know. Right now, there's our leader, Cliff Mullins. He just went into pit road. Lead's going to cycle to Matthew Robinson in the 40, who has checked out by quite a bit. We look back, the next car that's pitted is Jacob York in the 25, and Robinson's got a 7-second advantage over York. Now, Lemke has yet to pit, so when he does, he'll be trapped a lap down, maybe 2.
Yeah, York lost 3 seconds to Robinson on pit lane.
Yeah, York had a little bit of extra repair, I believe, for his 25 car. Now that could come back to bite him later. You never know.
Shane Wolf there under attacking the York to get himself back on the lead lap.
Whoa.
He's got to get around that 25
No, he is
car.
on the lead lap. This is the battle for second on the track right now. And Shane Wolf, with the 4 tires, he moves up to second.
Wow, so Shane Wolf, 4 tires are definitely paying dividends for him.
There's only so... Whoa, the 25 of York went way high over there in turn 1. Don't know if there was contact made or not. But it was just about as safe. Although he did take 4 tires, it only takes a handful of laps or so for these tires to sort of even out. So, got to see if Shane Wolf going to continue to track down the 40 of Robinson. Right now, Shane Wolf's running lap times that are about 0.2 quicker than Robinson. This is with lap traffic in the way. So there's the 41, Dean Gagliano. There you see on the left the ticker. Matthew Robinson with a 21.3 and Shane Wolf with a 21.1. You see the gap still about a little over 7 seconds, and Robinson once again took 2 tires. Shane Wolf on 4, so he just passed the lap car of Dawson Miller there, who just smacked the wall coming out of 4, and York nearly smacked the wall behind him. That time he was 0.3 quicker. Shane Wolf in the 1 was 21.4 for Robinson and the 21.1 for Shane Wolf. So it seems like every other lap, or every lap, he closes the gap. See what the lap times are this time by 21.492, 21.295 for Shane Wolf, still closing the gap now at 6.7 seconds. Question is, will he have enough time to catch the 40 without needing a caution?
At this rate, he's going to need 10 laps to get 2 seconds. He needs 30 laps. It'll be right about just after the finish, so he's going to need to get that to come down a little bit more. or this race get extended. So
he's going to need a lap car to just park it in front of Robinson, or he's going to need a caution, or he's just going to rely on himself. So he got loose there coming out of 4, still a 10th quicker than our leader Robinson. This is an interesting call from the 1 of Shane Wolf. Had the dominant car, decided to take 4 rather than everyone else take 2, which seemed to be the most popular call. Just want to point out that the fastest pit stop was Jeremy Knapp with a 10.9 second pit stop. He's currently got himself running in the 5th spot right now. So here, this is the battle for, well, battle for second, even though York is quite a bit of ways behind Shane Wolf. He's about 4 seconds back of Shane Wolf. Shane Wolf's closed the gap to about 6 seconds between him and Matthew Robinson. So unless he picks up the pace a little more, then I believe he will need a caution. So we see lap times that time by 21.4 for Robinson and a 21.2 for Shane Wolf. So he's still closing in on the gap. It's just little by little, not going to be enough, I believe. We're coming up on 20 to go here in just a bit. One kind of got a little loose there, but he got the run on exit, 21.5, 21.3. Still about a tenth or two every lap. Don't know if he'll get there in time.
He's going to need some help from somewhere, somehow, or the tires to fall out, since there's only 2 tires, fall off on Robinson's car quicker than they are in his. The way he's driving that car, I don't think he's saving anything.
No, it does not. Oh, he nearly gets into the 14 of Ben Morris Sr. He's kind of just riding around the wall, or as we like to call it, the Larson line, but just in a casual manner. And the one of Shane Wolf nearly got into him there. So we'll have to take a look at the lap times this time by. Like Robinson ran a 21.394. Shane Wolf a 21.339. So it does seem like right now the tires are stabling out as far as the advantage goes with Shane Wolf's 4 compared to Robinson's 2. We'll see this time by if they're about even.
This is about the closest battle we got out here right now is the 20 and the 25. Oh, the 20 and the 56 rather. As Knapp's run all over the back of Miller.
He is all over the back of Miller. He's trying to get past the Miller machine for the 4th spot. It would be.
He's asking Miller what he had for lunch. I think they're that close to it.
Miller's not giving him a definitive answer.
Ooh,
Whoa.
York
There's a 25
sliding.
of York. Yeah, he slid up the track there in 1 and 2. But because of how far spread out everyone is, he's currently fine. He's got about 6 seconds now over Dawson Miller for the 3rd spot. So right now he's basically on cruise control. So there's the 20 of Knapp trying to go under the 56 of Miller. Still nothing there.
There's Robinson right behind them, race leader.
Oh, we got a spin on the track. It's Jacob York. He's going to bring out our first caution of the night with 15 laps to go. Going to have to see what happened there if he just got loose. We did see him go up the track just a few laps earlier. Don't know if the handling got out of the car or not. We see here just a low approach and the car is just loose in and out. Going down the backstretch, coming into 3 and 4 right here. Oh boy, I don't know. He kind of tried to get it to the upper groove and then thought twice about it and didn't want to do it. And
I think he
just,
saw that lap car and he was trying to dive underneath him. Made that decision a little later than I think he wanted to. So,
yeah, I don't, that's really confusing there.
we can go back and look at it and see where the car was in front of him. You watch that 35 car where he's at, trying to figure out where he's going to go and see. I bet he was thinking the 35 was going to take the low line and he was going to go around him on the outside. Saw that he was going to take the high line and he's like, oh, so I need to take the low? And well.
Yeah, I mean, I think he thought twice about his entry going in and didn't want to go in anymore. So we'll have to see if he will be issued an EOL there for creating the caution. Or being the cause of the caution, I should say. So this happens with less than 15 laps to go, or just 15 laps to go. We are now less than 15 to go.
Right.
As that is exactly what James Shane Wolf needed in the 1.
Definitely he did. But Robinson did not want to see that.
No, he did not want to see that. He was on cruise control. But it builds up the excitement and anticipation for everyone watching and driving for a close finish. All right, we'll have to see if we'll have any takers coming on the pit road, even though their only set of tires are gone. So could see some tire pressure adjustments, maybe a little bit of damage.
And Yorker on pit lane. You know, York's going to probably be in the back anyway, so big issue for him as far as getting some help and repaired. He has some right side damage to that his spoiler, right rear spoiler. York did.
Yeah, I was just about to say too. That caution came at a good time for Dawson Miller and Jeremy Knapp. They were both on the cusp of going a lap down, battling for the fifth or fourth spot on the track, and that caution came out just in the nick of time. All right, now it looks like we're going to be getting the one to go signal this time by, so could begin the green flag here with about 10 laps to go.
Race control did issue Jacob York the end of line penalty.
EOL penalty for Jacob York. Okay.
But he was already back there anyway because he went down pit lane. But as you said, you know, he was assessed the penalty for causing the caution.
All right, here we go. Pace car pulls into pit road. We have 10 laps left at Stafford for the Country Road Sports Cars 100. Matthew Robinson, James Shanwolf on the front row. Who's going to bring it back on top? Down into turn one, Shanwolf's on the outside. Don't know if there's still something left under the one with the forged set of tires. Robinson not giving up on the bottom. He's got the preferred groove. He's got Miller on his bumper as well. He nearly gets into the one of Shanwolf. They almost make contact coming out of four. They're sideways all over the place. They're being and banging all the way back in turn four. But right now, Robinson underneath the one of Shanwolf. He's got the advantage right now. They're dead even down the backstretch. Miller's sitting here in the catbird seat waiting to pounce on anything to happen. He might force the issue as well. The 40 of Robinson underneath the one of Shanwolf's looking like he's going to take the advantage for now, although they're still dead even going into turn one. Shanwolf really driving it up.
York delved underneath, that was Nat, and they said Miller right there. Miller is looking to dive underneath Shanwolf and get back
the 40
up the
of
top.
Robinson gets loose. Here comes the one of Shanwolf. No, not going to be under him just yet. He's still on the bumper. We're inside 10 laps to go. Robinson taking the lead once more. Don't know if the one of Shanwolf has anything left for him, although anything can happen here at Stafford. There we got a battle. Jacob York with a Louisiana dive bomb of some sorts, and he gets the third spot. Wow, we're approaching 6 laps left here in the Country Road Sports Cars 100. Matthew Robinson's currently got the lead. Shanwolf's holding on to second, although Jacob York, he's still loose. Nearly spinning out, coming out of the corner. He was on a charge, but he got loose there, coming out of twos, though don't know if he's still going to have anything left for him. He just smacked the wall coming out of 4. That 25 car still has some sort of issue. We have 5 laps left in our Country Road Sports Cars 100 here at Stafford. Quite the battle here. So York still close to the bumper of the 1. Don't know if he'll have enough time. They're nearly slamming the wall. 4 to go. Here comes the 25 of York trying to get underneath the 1 of Shanwolf. Shanwolf gets loose. Here comes York. He's going to take the second spot. Does he have enough time to catch the 40 of Robinson? Oh boy, what a win this would mean for Jacob York. He's had such bad luck all year. 3 laps to go. He's slowly creeping in on the 40. Don't know if he'll use the bumper or not, but with the way his luck has been all year, I think he's going to do just about anything he can to get to the 40 if he's there. The 40 gets wide, coming out of 4. Here comes York. 2 laps to go here at Stafford. York gonna send it. Nearly hits the bumper of the 40. He runs up the track in 1 and 2. Stafford Speedway. Everyone's on their feet virtually and in their seats at home. Oh, the 48 Robinson slides up the track. Here comes York on the bottom. He's still on the bumper. 1 lap to go here in the Country Road Sports Cars 100 here at Stafford. They go into turn 1. Robinson trying to hold on to everything he can. Jacob York all over the bumper. Could we see a Louisiana dive bomb here as they go through 3 and 4 for the final time? Jacob York gets into the back of the 40. He's sideways. He goes spinning. And he gets clipped by 40. He gets clipped by Robinson. And coming out of 4, guess who the winner's going to be? It's James Shanewolf in the 1. Unreal. And tempers are flaring here as the 40 and the 25 are hitting each other in turn 4. Unreal. What a ending. Here, let's look at this last lap once again. Oh my goodness. You knew York would do about anything he could to get the win. He's center right there. The 40 was already sideways. York didn't even touch him. Then he overcorrects, it clips the 25, and there you see on the bottom scooting by. Oh man, it was Shanewolf that just stole it. And then the 25 not pleased as well. What a finish here at Stafford. Unreal stuff. Here, this is the view of the race winner, James Shanewolf, on the last lap.
You can hear him, he was getting sideways coming off the corner as well.
So there's the spin. And then he just drives right on by on the bottom. I almost said Dawson Miller because he's in the wrong car, and both his car and Shanewolf's car, both their main colors are black, and I almost assumed that it was Miller, but thankfully I looked up at the Scorchon because I almost got it wrong. Oh my goodness. What a ending, what a finish here at Stafford. Expect the unexpected. Wow. Here's your finishing results presented by America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan. James Shanewolf steals the show, and he wins the Country Road Sports Cars 100. Dawson Miller's going to come home second. Third will be Jeremy Knapp. Jacob York comes home fourth after nearly winning from a last lap pass. Johnny Collier's going to come home fifth. And the 40 of Matthew Robinson lost it on the last lap. Going to come home sixth. Seventh is going to be Cliff Mullins. Eighth will be Lemke. Ninth, Enmore Sr. 10th, Rick Ward. And then 11th is Dean Gagliano. But wow, what a finish here tonight. I can't believe that happened.
Definitely. Like I said, York was doing everything he could. And I got to say what you said, the same thing. You know, that Robinson did get, the car was turning, and York had the advantage on the outside, but the overcorrection brought him up to the left rear corner panel. It was just enough to turn York, and I'm sure that's why York wasn't very happy about that.
No, I'm not sure if there was anything Robinson could do. I don't know if he would intentionally do that.
Well, I don't think it was an intentional thing. It's just York thought he cleared him, you know. It's like,
yeah, I mean,
and all of a sudden, no.
Oh my goodness. Although it is a top 5 finish for Jacob York, it's still not a win. There's still always some bad luck just lingering around that 25 car. It seemed like after the 40 of Robinson almost spun out in turn 4, it seemed like that would be it. That's all Jacob York needed, and he would come home the winner. But then sort of a flashback, if you will, of the 2018 Roval race for the Cup Series, where the leader the leader spins out, and then the guy who's supposed to win gets clipped in it as well.
That was Truex and Johnson.
Truex and Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
And then the third place car comes out of nowhere and wins it, and that is James Shanewolf. Unreal stuff tonight here at Stafford Motor Speedway.
Definitely,
oh boy,
one heck of a finish, you know, for the Rick's Haas Late Model Series here tonight. And these guys put on a heck of a show, and we're glad we had a whole lot of people showing up tonight.
Oh yeah, that was amazing. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in tonight and followed, watched this amazing race, an amazing finish here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Wow. I don't know what to say. I'm almost speechless after that. Still. Oh man. Never have we seen anything like this. in the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. And this is the first time we're doing this. This is the first season we have for the late models to sort of get these drivers' names out here and show off their talents. And sometimes stuff like this can happen.
And so we'll be at North Wilkesboro next week. So a really tough track in iRacing. If you haven't seen the guys race any of the cars, and I mean any of the cars, that racetrack is a very tough technical short track. Doesn't matter what kind of car you bring there. There's always a lot of beating and banging and trying to keep the cars from hitting the walls or grabbing a hold of the grass. And one of the corners has no curbing, and the other one is just a grass area. The other one has that high 6 to 8 inch curb. So they'll either hit that and send it up to the outside, or they'll hit the grass and slide the corner. It'll be very interesting to see next week.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see next week. Just for the curious fan out there, hey, what's it like when you take late models and you put them on a track that we haven't raced at in a long, long time? Well, we're gonna get your answers next Sunday at North Wilkesboro for the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series.
Going back to the 1987 configuration of the North Wilkesboro track in North Carolina.
Yeah, that'll be historical in itself.
Yeah, definitely be a good race to watch. So we'll be seeing people back for Father's Day, man. So we're gonna even pull it out on a Father's Day weekend too.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. All right, I think that'll do it here for the Country Road Sports Cars 100 and an amazing finish here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Let's take a look at our race recap presented by Extreme Motorsports. James Shanewolf stole the win. He had the most dominant car, but then kind of screwed himself over with his pitch strategy. And then a late race caution from Jacob York, nearly spinning out. He saved it. That was our only caution. Had 11 racers in, and Shanewolf had the fastest lap. That was, early on. But an amazing finish that nearly saw the 40 of Robinson win, spin out. Then it looked like the 25 of York would win. He got clipped. And then the one of James Shanewolf just comes through and steals the show. What a run. Want to thank all our sponsors, America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan, Dogtopia, Miller Racing Graphics, and Country Road Sports Cards. We will see you guys here next Sunday night at North Wilkesboro for the Miller Racing Graphics Throwback 100. And for everyone, Jacob Bell, who couldn't be with us tonight, Harold Darner, I'm Hunter Sleppy in the booth. So long. We'll see you next Sunday.
What an exciting race brought to you by Wendigo Studios. Here they come out of turn 4 to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Thank you to all our sponsors, drivers, and viewers. We'll see you at the next turn.